Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Independent Merchant Brokers and Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group. For more information on Independent Merchant Brokers and their credit card, debit card processing and point-of-sale systems, go to independentmerchantbrokers.com. And for more information on Financial Freedom Wealth Management Group, go to financialfreedomwmg.com. Good morning, everybody. Russ here on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad to be with you this morning. And I have an amazing guest here this morning, Colleen Stewart, who's going to be just giving us some great information this morning. And she's just a wonderful person. We've been blessed to be able to chat several times, and I had her on one of my other shows. And she's all about storytelling and doing just some great stuff that I'm going to let her tell you about. But I'm just really happy to have her here this morning. And also wanted to remind you just a few things. Okay, well, first of all, here you are, Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. You know what? We are here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's right, bringing you amazing people who connect. That's right. We are all about connection and bringing you people that are doing amazing things. And I am just so blessed to have so many good friends and people that are willing to come on and share with you and bless you and help you in all that you're doing. You know, I tell everybody all the time that my main purpose and why in life is to encourage and inspire you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. What does that mean? I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to do the amazing things God has created you to do. And I'll be completely transparent this morning. Sometimes life isn't always going fantastic, and we have to really work and focus on our purpose and our why. And some of you may know I have things going on in my life right now with my mama that are hard. And you know what? I choose to focus on the happy moments. You know, several years ago, Mama and I started when she was a little more able to get around. We did happy moments with Mama videos, and it was so much fun. And it helps me to think about happy moments, and every little happy moment in life we need to focus on. And I just want to encourage you with that this morning. You may be going through some rough times. You may be going through some challenges because we all have them. And I just want to encourage you that, you know what, in spite of that, in spite of what's going on in your life, you can choose to live the life you want. You can choose to be positive. You can choose to focus on the happy moments because, you know, it's sometimes being positive and being happy is rough. It's tougher than other times, but it's always there. It's always there. There's always happy moments. There's always positive moments. There's always things you can focus on that lift you higher, not drag you down. So I just want to encourage you today, just if that's where you are today, be blessed and just be thinking about those happy moments. They're right before you, happening all the time. So anyway, I also want to remind you that I'm the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. It's hiding out behind me there. And you can pick that up on Amazon or all online booksellers. One thing I'm really excited about, I have a Monday newsletter that goes out on LinkedIn every Monday. And when you subscribe to that, you also get it in your email, which is really cool. It's once a week. And it's the title of the newsletter is But First Coffee. That's me, right? But first coffee. There you go. Before you get moving. But it's all about morning routine, just positive mindset and all that as you get your day going. I think it'll help you. Well, I know it'll help you actually. So if you want to subscribe to that, you can go on LinkedIn on my page, Russ Hedge, and you can subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. I'd appreciate that, but it also, I think it will bless you. Um, Also, I just want to tell you two more quick things, and that is, remember, again, we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Did I tell you that? But the biggest thing I want to tell you, besides my other live shows, which I'm not going to go into all of them right now, is that I love to connect with people. And the best way to connect with me is russhedge.com. And I can say that over and over and over, russhedge.com. That's where you go. That's how you connect with me. And I would love to connect with you, especially if we haven't already. Even if we have, hey, go to russhedge.com, schedule time with me directly on my calendar, or just connect with me through all the social media, email, phone number. You could text me, whatever you want to do. I am just blessed to be able to build community and get to know new people. This year, my goal is to meet over 1,000 new people. I am knocking that out of the park. That's about 3 people a day, and I'm making mincemeat out of that. It's a great goal, but I love meeting people, so it becomes easier and easier the more you do it. So connect with me. Love to see you there. And that is enough for today. The comments are going crazy, and Colleen is in the back, just ready to jump in. So here she comes. Welcome, Colleen Stewart. Ta-da!
Hello, Russ. How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm
I
in
am.
an unusual space here.
There you go. Well, you know what? I'm really excited. You were telling me where you are. Give right off the bat here. Let's start off. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Tell everybody a little bit about you, what you're up to, and then tell us where you're at.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for I'm in my 10th year. I'll be celebrating 10 years of Perfect Pitch in December of this year. So I basically do journalism with my clients. I have a journalism degree, and what I do is help clients pull all the information about their businesses together and create captivating stories that people will want to engage with, but also will be memorable and help people make the decisions they need to make, hopefully with your business, based on the stories. So that's what I do, and I'm actually in Calgary right now, and it's an exciting time because it's Stampede, and Kevin Costner was the parade marshal on Friday, so there's a lot of
Ooh.
excitement. But Bow Valley College here is hosting an event called the Innovation Rodeo. It's for tech startups, and it's a 4 or 5 day event. They have all sorts of experts on marketing, business, strategy, all sorts of stuff. And I'm coming in to teach storytelling to these brand new CEOs and presidents of technology startups, to teach them how to use storytelling to market their businesses.
Well, that is so cool. This is what I love about what you do, because I think I'm trying to remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were on our May the 4th be with you
Yeah.
show. That's
Yes.
right. On the Experience Live with Russ and
You're
Scott.
correct.
And yeah, it was fun. And it's all about, I think about Star Wars and all those things. And I think about Story Brand and all those type of programs that are out there. But life is all about a story. It's all about characters. We are characters within that story and what we're doing. And you are amazing about how you take that and help people in their business and all that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't realize sometimes that they're living all that they need, right? They're living this story every day.
Well, and it ties right into what you said at the beginning of the show. Like, if you're struggling with some difficult times, like, just focus on the good things and the happy things. And I think that's absolutely true. And then on top of that, recognize that the difficult times are part of the story. I think it's appropriate because I'm at a Western rodeo event right now to quote Dolly Parton. But Dolly says, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And I think businesses need to realize this as well. I'm going to be talking to a group of 120, 150 brand new CEOs trying to get their companies going, and they're struggling with difficult times. This it's economic uncertainty. We're coming out of a pandemic and just sort of trying to get back to normal. But there are other challenges. How do I talk about my business? Like, how do I describe to somebody what I do, and do it in a way that's actually going to make them curious and want to talk more, or maybe want to do business with me. So yeah, I think if companies can realize that the challenge is part of their story and they integrate that into their story, how they talk about their business is going to change dramatically. It's going to really connect with the people they need to connect with.
Yeah, well, and I love this quote that you said just a minute ago. If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And what did you say? Dolly Parton said that?
Oh yeah, Dolly. Yeah.
Good old Dolly.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Dolly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because that is so true. People don't realize that all the challenges and things we go through in life, well, everything we go through, good and bad, it's
Yeah.
all developing character and developing our life. And I really am a strong believer in the fact that, you go through, it's like if life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? It's what
Yeah.
you do with what you're given. And I think that's so important for people to realize, because life is not always, so I'm the happy, upbeat guy. I like life to be happy and upbeat all the time and woo, but it's not. And that's not a bad thing. What that is, it's a character building thing. It's a life story thing. It is what really develops us.
Yeah. And I think, if we're going to translate it into business, then when we're doing marketing, we want to talk about all the wonderful things that we do, or all of the great products that we produce, or the great services that we offer, and all of the wonderful things those products and services can do for our customers. The problem when we talk about that, and it's great to be excited and tell all the wonderful things, but the problem with doing that right away is nobody really cares yet. And they don't necessarily trust it, because if I sell lemons and I'm at the booth saying I have the best lemons in town, well, Russ Hedge might be right next door at a similar booth saying, no, I have the best lemons in town. So who do you trust? Well, you don't know.
Right.
But if I'm at my booth and I say, you know what, I tried to grow a crop of really good lemons one year, and I thought the way to do it was to pour all this, pesticide on the trees and keep the pests off. Well, it turns out I was robbing the lemons of my flavor. I screwed up. I didn't produce the best lemons that year. It was not what I had set out to do. So I learned my lesson, and now I do it this way. And I can tell you the difference in flavor is like night and day. Well, now I have a story, right? Because I've included the challenge, and I've talked about the times when things didn't go right. Either I made a bad decision, or, something happened in the world that impacted my business in a bad way, or like, we all go through challenges. We need to start talking about them in our businesses, because that's how people trust us. Yeah. And then I will sell more lemons than Russ next week.
Well, it's interesting too, because you think of movies, right?
Yeah.
And there always has to be a villain or a rough part, or somebody that's really grating and irritating you, or you just want to, you have to have that in the movie. We joke, my beautiful wife loves, and I love Hallmark movies. Okay.
Oh,
well, there's only like one script for a Hallmark movie. There's the person from a big town that goes to a small town, and then they meet somebody that they start to fall in love with, but then they have the problem comes in. There's a problem. There's a challenge. There's something happens. They get mad at each other, whatever. And then in the last 30 seconds of the movie, they make up and kiss, and it's all over. So, but what's so funny is, without that problem time, if everything was happy and wonderful the entire time, you would lose interest. Interest. It's not, because that's not really life. Life isn't always like that. So that's what I think is interesting about what you're talking about in the whole story of life, is that everything goes into making up a good story and making up a good life, even the not so good moments.
Yeah, and I think it's how we trust each other too. I mean, I know
Yeah.
it is because we all recognize, every single one of us knows that we've been on our own journey, whether it's a personal story or a business story. I mean, I started my business in 2012. I know the hurdles and the challenges that I've had to go through and the rough times that I've had to go through. And am I going to quit or am I going to persist? And if I persisted, how hard it was to do that sometimes. I know that I went through all of that. So if I meet another business owner, somebody who's just starting up or been in business for 5 years, and they talk like everything has just gone smoothly, like that Hallmark movie where there's no problem, like I don't really trust that because I've gone through it. I know what the journey looks like. So
Right.
if we're not going to have a frank conversation about that, it's really hard to connect. So
Yeah.
it's interest, definitely. And then on top of that, it's trust. So I think in business, we have to recognize we're not going to lose trust by talking about the times that were challenging. We're actually going to increase trust. And I think for a lot of business people, that is counterintuitive because especially with, when we're marketing our services, we think it's all about, shouting from the rooftops about how great we are.
Right.
And, um, and
Well,
that's not, you don't want to show all your dirty laundry, but
well, that's probably a good idea. But
yeah,
it's true what you said. So I'm thinking of the quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. John Maxwell always says that. It's so
yeah.
true because you talk about caring and trust.
Mhm.
People, we always talk about the know, like, and trust factor, trying to get people in the buying process to that part where they do trust you. And you're right. If the story is not resonating, they are not going to trust you. If the story's not resonating, they're not going to care. And if they don't care, you've lost them. If they don't trust you, you've definitely lost them. And the whole thing that I'm huge on connection and community building, and that is all about the know, like, and trust and really caring about others. Because when we give out and care and show other people that we really are concerned and care about them, then they're going to turn around and think they really care about us. So, for example, if we're selling lemons and we're trying to tell everybody all we're doing is telling them we have the best lemon, they're going yada 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 until we see them trip and fall and we go over and help them up and say, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Hey, can I do anything for you? And we don't try to sell them lemons. And then we go back to our lemon booth. What's going to happen? They're going to say, this person really cared about me. They weren't just trying to sell me a lemon. I'm going to go back to their lemon booth. And
Mhm.
suddenly we're building that trust factor with them because we've shown them that we care about them. And that's all part of the story. Part of the challenge came in, or somebody, I think Noopy just said the pain point, that we all have. And then we're able to overcome that through caring and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. And I find the storytelling when I work with my clients, the nice part about it is that they do create stories that are going to build that trust and connect with their intended audiences. But by through the process of creating those stories, my clients also see their businesses a little differently. They have a little bit of a different understanding of what their business is about because stories are also how we are interpreting all of the data we encounter in the world. Human beings have been using stories since the dawn of time to organize information, make sense of it, and then impart that information to others. But the organizing it is important for my clients. Um, I had a coaching client years ago, and because I'm in Calgary, I'm remembering her. She is taking over, well, at that time, she was in the process of taking over a big family farm just outside Calgary. And she's pretty young, and that's unusual sometimes in the farming community. She was asked to speak at a conference, and they wanted her to tell 5 stories about 2020, thinking about the pandemic and just, how did farmers respond and how did they cope and everything else. And she called me because she said, okay, I'm a young woman I'm going to be on stage with these, farmers who've been around forever. And I don't think I can tell 5 stories without frankly bursting into tears because it's been a really rough year. It's been like those hard times that you talked about at the beginning of the show. And so I said, okay, well, let's figure out what the 5 stories are. So we worked and mapped out these stories. And the lovely thing about the narrative arc is that, yes, you do go into the darkness, you talk about the challenge, and that's what builds the emotional tension. But then you solve those challenges, and then you get to the outcome, which is usually something better than what you started with. And because we framed those 5 stories, she said to me, she said, Colleen, this has completely changed how I think about 2020. Like, I don't feel like crying. I feel like cheering, because look what I did. Look what I accomplished in spite of these challenges that I faced. So I think for a marketing crew or a business crew, I mean, I think a storytelling exercise can be so powerful in how it frames how you see your own business and how everybody in the company sees the business, or maybe a hard time that you went through as a company. And I don't know how much time and energy companies devote to a storytelling process, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think not enough is what I think. Because I think everything we need, God has put right around us, right before us. And it's all the story of our life as a journey. It's the story of the lives around us and who we can learn from and all that we're doing. There's people that are all around us going through these challenges but also overcoming. And that's what I really like about what you just said. It is the overcoming process. It is it's the ability to see the brighter side of all this going on and see the big picture of what's going on. When you have a story, there's a story, right? There's the whole story. Don't get stuck in the negative part of the story. Allow yourself to see coming out on the other side. And I think that is, I think it's crucial in all that we do in life and in business, right? Because I always tell people, we are our business. We take everything with us. So we're taking our story to our business. So let's use that story.
Yeah. And, it's interesting that we do talk that way in life and in business, as though they were like separate, and they're not. They're not. Right. Most of us are kind of living our story. But, when you're in the tough times too, like if you're a business owner or you're managing a team and you're going through, just like the most difficult, challenging time, if you understand story structure and just how we live through these stories, this should be a time where, yes, you're going to feel maybe discouragement, despair, a little bit of, embarrassment, frustration, all that stuff. But also remember, the story doesn't end in the hard times. It never does. Ever, ever, ever. It never does. It always moves into a moment where the hero gets to seize the treasure. So recognize, this is so cool. Like, we're in it. We're in the soup. And this is our opportunity to learn. And so we need to keep talking about all the things that are going wrong and how can we do better and what can we learn and how can we support each other and how can we just keep moving forward, because know that difficult time, the rain means the rainbow is right there. It's right there. And all you have to do is decide to persist. And sometimes understanding story, it can help you do that psychologically, because you just know if we're in the rain, the rainbow's right there.
I love what you just said, and we're gonna use that point to wrap it up for today. You and I are gonna have to have a part 2 for sure, because we need to continue this discussion. But the point you just said was, when you're going through the rough times, I want everybody to hear this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but what you were saying. But when you're going through the rough times, what it means is there's great things coming. There's positive things ahead, because that rain may be there and that downtime in your life may be there, but the rainbow is just on the other side. And so keep a positive attitude, knowing that you just keep moving forward. You make it through, you go through. So we have troubles in this life, but we just go through them, and then we come out on the other side and there's great things ahead. I just love that. Do me a favor, give everybody the final point you want everybody to remember, and then tell everybody how to get in touch with you. And then you and I are definitely going to schedule a part 2.
Okay, sounds good. So I guess the overall point from today's show is embrace the challenges. Don't throw them under the carpet. Talk about them, because it's the best way to learn and get push forward to those good times, and also to connect with the people you need to connect with. You can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. Perfectpitchpros.com is where you can find my company and all its services. Go to The Story Compass on Amazon by Colleen Stewart. So you can buy the book. And I would love to connect with any of your listeners about the stories they're trying to tell at work. So just have a wonderful day and enjoy the ride.
Exactly. Well, you are amazing. And as you're speaking, magically, all of that is appearing in the comments, as well as it was all in the show notes of how to get in touch with you and all the great pearls of wisdom you have been giving us throughout the show. And I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you truly for being here today. We are definitely going to schedule part 2 as soon as we get off here.
Okay.
And I love this discussion, so we're going to continue on. But thank you. Thank you so much for that positive outlook on life. It's a great story, and I'm excited to live it.
Thanks, Russ.
Okay, have fun in Calgary. See ya. Hey, everybody. All right, listen, I'm going to wrap things up. And busy morning for everybody out there. I would just, first of all, start by saying definitely connect with Colleen. She is amazing, and all the stuff she's got going on in storytelling. Make sure and get out there and connect and find out more, because you know what? We just scratched the surface today. She's got so much more for you. All of the connection links are in the comments and the show notes. And all you have to do is click on it. Just click on it and you go to her. Don't forget that if you want to connect with me, you can easily just go to russhedge.com right there, russhedge.com. That's right. And I would love to connect with you as well. Just want to remind you too, if you guys would do me a big favor today, in all transparency today, it's been, it's going to be kind of a rough day for me. So just would appreciate your prayers for my mama and all this going on there. And so thank you for that. And I think that there's a community here that loves and trusts each other and cares about each other. And so I thank you for that. I thank you for your prayers for my mama and my family. And I think I'm just trying to take a look to see if I missed anything. Again, it's all right there for you in the show notes. So listen, have an awesome day and an awesome life. I'm so glad you've all been here today. We'll talk to you soon. Russ out.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.